Okay, here's a 2014 Mazda 3. You can kind of see that yellow and hazy line there. I think that's WD-40. So, yeah, that's always tough. I've seen that before, and I've had someone tell me they use WD-40. This client didn't say he did anything. So maybe he bought it used, but you can see a little bit in this picture too, that yellowy orange stuff kind of at the top half of the headlight. So that stuff's nastier than you think, folks. Can I restore my headlights with WD-40? Short answer is no. Maybe it'll give you some clarity for a little while, but it starts to give you that orange, yellowy haze, and it's very difficult to get out. Sometimes it can be permanent. It kind of burns the headlight, quote unquote. So a lot of sanding is needed. I'm starting with a 320 grit here. That's very aggressive. A Mazda shouldn't really need that. But because of that WD-40, I'm trying to get down to that level and get it all out of there. So you'll see me start with 320 on this. This light is actually tougher than you may think. You can see that corner down there on the left that's kind of underneath the body. You have to kind of get your hand in there, and you can see me fiddling with this crevices and valleys. I call it the 3D part of the headlight. Some of these manufacturers, they add these features and accents to the lights. I don't know why they do that. I don't think it gives you any better visibility. And so, here we're just checking. I'm checking my work. Moving on to 500 now. Just building up the scratches, getting rid of those 320 scratches. And so, same process as the 320. We're just moving on to a higher grit to remove the lower scratches there. But both headlights took me about an hour and 45 minutes. So that was tough. I didn't expect that. I walked up and I saw it and I thought, oh man, we've got some WD-40 on here. So, it's not that it's impossible. It's just, it's just going to be harder to do. So, but, take your time. Make sure you have that even matte finish with the grit. Jump down to the lowest grit you're comfortable with. We're on to wet sanding now. Should be an 800. After that 500, we're just going to go up to 800. Some folks will go to 600 after 500. Stick with what you're comfortable with. I did that for a long time. 500, 600, 800. And then after a while, you start to know how to work the sander, or you get real comfortable with the hand pommel. You just go from 5 to 800. So we're working on 800. We're going to get up to 1,000. 2,000. 3,000. So that's a purple disc, so it's got to be 1,000 or 2,000 in my hand there. And so again, once you get to those higher grits, 600, 800 and further, you're gonna use that wet sanding process. You can wet sand at the lower grits, don't get me wrong. I use 3M sandpaper, so I don't typically wet sand if I need those lower grits. But you can, it's a personal preference. Sometimes dry sanding will get things done faster than wet sanding. So with this WD-40, I'm definitely going to do the dry sanding at the lower grits. That looks like a Trizac pad to me. That means we're almost done. 3,000. I like the 3M 3,000 Trizac pad. It's a magic eraser. And so, yep. Getting in the corners, crevices. This is the final stage before the UV coating that we put on. So we're making sure everything's all right. I like to get rid of the tape first and clean everything up. That way there's no spray, there's no tape, there's no dust, there's no nothing that gets into that UV coating. And then we're just simply going to wipe it on. It's a great product. And so make sure everything is covered and even. and then here we go. So we're always looking for that kind of glassy mirror type effect. That's what gives them that brand new look to them. We got it here, so it just took a little extra patience with sanding, a little extra grits maybe, and there you go. Client was happy.